Hey, what's up guys? It's the Jawnz here. We've got some more news from the Olympic Committee. They've set to ban basically trans women from all female events. This is a huge W, like huge. Finally, reason and logic has prevailed and we can finally, get on with our lives. So let's just take a quick look at this.
The International Olympic Committee is set to ban transgender women from competing in all female categories, according to a new report. The change is set to be officially announced early next year, The Times reported on Monday, citing sources. The decision to overhaul the current policy was made after the sporting committee carried out a science-based review of a biologically born male's permanent physical advantages, the sources said.
So, it's pretty clear that men are just faster, stronger. I mean, there's a few exceptions, right? I've heard that, ultra marathons, women generally tend to do a lot better. There's, a couple of other ones, not so sure. But, I mean, men can't even compete against men. I played a bit of sport as a kid, and there are other guys out there that are just doing things that are... it's just, I say this with construction and, blue collar jobs a lot. There's just men out there doing things that men can't do. So it's, just not even a question.
Findings were presented by the IOC's medical and scientific director, Dr. Jane Thornton, in a closed-door meeting last week. It was a very scientific, factual, and unemotional presentation, which quite clearly laid out the evidence, a source told the outlet. Under the current guidance, transgender women have been able to compete in the female category with reduced testosterone levels, but the decision has ultimately been left up to individual sports. An IOC spokesperson on Monday denied, however, that a decision had been made. An update was given by the IOC's Director of Health, Medicine, and Science to the IOC members last week during the IOC Commission meetings. The working group is continuing its discussions on this topic and no decisions have been taken yet. Further information will be provided in due course, the spokesperson told the Post. At the Tokyo Games in 2021, New Zealand weightlifter Laurel Hubbard became the first
It's just bone density, it's testosterone. I'm not knowledgeable enough on all of the physiological effects that male puberty has and just the male structure has, but I know that generally men are stronger than women. And there's women out there that are obviously stronger than me in weightlifting, but I'm not trained. We're talking about someone from birth or puberty around that age training in this thing, and the boys are going to have a much better advantage to the girls. Serena Williams wouldn't beat the 200 ranked male tennis player. The Matildas, the female soccer team, Australian soccer team, lost to a boys 16-year-old team. Generally, and I don't mean to be disheartening or offensive to women at all, but we've got to agree that if you're a woman that wants to get into weightlifting and you're up against this, that's not equality.
Transgender woman to compete in the Olympics. That same year, non-binary Canadian soccer player Quinn competed and won gold with their team in the women's category. And Chelsea Wolfe, a transgender woman, was selected as an alternate for the United States BMX freestyle team, although she did not compete. At the Paris Games in 2020...
So, leaving it up to individual sports, I can understand, BMXing, I don't know whether men or women have an advantage. Maybe women have an advantage in that sport, like skateboarding and things. Maybe they have a lower center of gravity, a better weight distribution. I don't know, maybe they perform better. So maybe it should be left up to individual sports. But I think generally as a whole,
24, female Algerian boxer.
In boxing, what are we talking about? you know, like this man just absolutely manhandled this woman, like just beat her down. You know, it was like watching, you know, like something out of the Wild West or something, you know, just disgusting. Like, why are we letting that happen in the most physical sport you could think of? It's just outrageous.
Iman Khalif sparked outrage after it came to light she had been disqualified from the previous year's World Championships after failing to meet its gender eligibility criteria. The IBA, the governing body of the World Championships at the time, has revealed little information about what tests and criteria were used to make the determination. Khalif, who went on to win gold in Paris, has maintained that she was born a woman and is never identified as transgender. The new blanket rule comes after the IOC's new chief, Kirsty Coventry, vowed earlier this year to protect the female sporting category.
We understand that there will be differences depending on the sports, but it was fully agreed that as members and as the IOC, we should make the effort to place emphasis on the protection of the female category, and that we should ensure that this is done in consensus with all the stakeholders. But we need to do that with a scientific approach and with the inclusion of working with the international federations, whom have already done a lot of work in this area.
Coventry.
Just based, really. It just needs to be done. It needs to be, a statement needs to be made. Like, there was a swimmer as well, I don't know if this is the exact one, there was an American swimmer just breaking national records and all these things. Like, I think all of these gold medals and all of these records should be stripped away as well. And I think that they should be given to the woman that was, you know, that came in second place, that got silver or whatever. There's just no doubt in my mind that this was just a real mistake by humanity, and will be looked back at it at, like, you know, our children will laugh at us because of it. Like, what, boys can be girls? Like, what, you know? And, like, look, in your own home, if you want to have those choices about yourself and you feel like that's the life that you want to live, I have no problem with that. And between you and I, we can have a conversation about what you'd like me to call you and what would be respectful. I'm absolutely fine with that. But you just can't compete in women's sports. That's just kind of the trade-off that, unfortunately, that you'll have to make. And, you know, the Olympic Committee agrees with me. So anyway, I think that's pretty much the
also an ex-Olympic swimmer from Zimbabwe acknowledged there was unanimous support for reaching an agreement about how best to amend the policy.
Yeah, I don't mean to be, you know, disheartening or anything to the people of that community, but, you know, like, it just, yeah, we can't be. It's when you've got a natural, physical, scientific advantage against another sex, it's just not fair. It's just not fair to the women, and women's sports is kind of, you know, like it's not well watched, right? So we can't really be taking away from that. Anyway, give a like and a comment, and see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.